What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Crash Play Gaming. I am your host, Crash, and for some reason my audio was not recording in these matches, so I'm going to do my best to record my voice over the audio, so if my image or my video part doesn't match what I'm saying, that's the reason why, so I apologize for that. I don't know what happened. Maybe I should have checked those games before I tried to do everything I did, so I had to re-record over that. But anyways, we're looking at a cool fire deck with Heatran as one of the main finishers in the deck, and Delphox to kind of help set up with Arceus as well. So it's a really cool fire deck that I came up with. We haven't had a lot of fire decks, and I figured why not just showcase one. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the Pokemon question of the day. Alright folks, let's go ahead and jump into last video's question. Which Pokemon card has the Deluge ability? And if you were like the commenters Prejudice and daniloselias, I'm sorry if I get your name wrong, I'm trying my hardest. But anyways, if you were like those commenters, you went ahead and guessed Blastoise here has the Deluge ability, kind of similar to what we see with Baxcalibur nowadays. As often as you like during a turn, you can attach wild energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. Pretty similar to Baxcalibur, if I do say so myself, but Blastoise is the OG with this ability, so that's pretty cool. Congratulations to Prejudice, that gives you the first place prize. Go ahead, I believe you've hit me up on Twitter before, so I will find our messages and send you your first place prize. Second place prize is still up for grabs, so Danilo, you are at 2 points, so this puts you one away from getting the second place prize, so good luck to you as well. Doesn't seem anybody else is participating, so it seems like you have the second place prize in lock. Anyway, so this video's question is, which item card from the Pokemon TCG allows you to discard 2 cards and search for any card in your deck? Go ahead and leave your answer in the comments section down below to earn yourself a point. Once you get to 3 points, you'll be winning the second place prize, since that is now up for grabs, and then all the points will reset after that. However, I've also noticed that I was looking at my channel analytics today. I've had a channel for almost going on 2 years now, which is awesome, I think, or maybe it's been a year. I don't quite remember, but anyway, I've seen a lot of people, more than half of the views here are unsubscribed, so go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit that 1,000 mark, but right now we're going for the 500 mark because that's the next step in my channel's growth, so I would appreciate it if you subscribe. Come join us. It is fun here. We do questions every time, and we have some pretty good decks, if I do say so myself. But anyways, let's go to get to the deck list. It's time to take a look at Delphox V here, a 210 Fire-type basic Pokemon with the attack Magical Fire. Does 120 damage for 3 energy and does 120 damage to one of our opponent's bench Pokemon, but we have to put 2 energy in the Lost Zone for this attack to work. But I think this is a pretty good Pokemon to start playing with now, and we also have a Radiant Heatran in the deck with the Raging Blast attack for 3 energy. You do 7 damage for each damage count on this Pokemon. So if you Magma Base into it twice, you're doing 280 damage, which just happens to be a really good number in today's meta, so I think Radiant Heatran is going a little bit under the radar. It is a pretty good Radiant Pokemon. We are using the Arceus VSTAR to charge up our Delphoxes with the Trinity Nova attack. The basic premise of this deck is to have Arceus hit for 180, and then you can use Delphox to finish it off and hit something else, and things like that of the nature. And Radiant Heatran can come in at the late game and just take a one-shot KO and just win you the game there. That is the goal of this deck. Trinity Nova allows us to do 200 damage, but mainly 180 damage, and we get to put 3 basic energy from our deck to our Pokemon V in any way we like. So Delphox gets charged up, and the Starbirth ability allowing us to search for 2 cards in our deck. Get us going pretty easily. And then we have the Armarouge here. As often as we like during a turn, we can attach a fire energy from one of our bench Pokemon to the active Pokemon. So actually, you could charge up Arceus in 1 turn if you don't get energy turn 1, which makes Armarouge that much better in this deck. As long as you have Magma Basin and things like that, you'll be able to go. So let's talk about some of the item cards here that help this deck kind of function. We have Super Rod, so you actually want to get Radiant Heatran out early. It's an early game threat that you want to show your opponent, and if they knock it out, just Super Rod it back in. It's not hard to charge up Radiant Heatran again. You just have to Magma Basin into it twice. Speaking of Magma Basin, we are playing 4 copies of Magma Basin, allowing us to attach a fire energy from our discard pile to one of our fire bench Pokemon and putting 2 damage counters on it. Synergy with Radiant Heatran there. We have 2 copies of Trekking Shoes. I actually thought about putting Pokegear in instead of Trekking Shoes, so if you want to do that, I think that'd be a good change as well. We got 2 copies of Capturing Aroma just to kind of increase the chances with Ultra Ball to get our evolution Pokemon. Those are why that's in there. 4 copies of Nest Ball, of course, to set up our basics. 1 copy of Switch, 1 copy of Escape Rope. All of our Pokemon are pretty hefty. They at least have a 2 retreat cost, so we need to get those guys out of there as well. 2 copies of Boss's Orders, of course. It's really good with Delphox if you can take a KO after an Arceus hit, and you can boss up whatever Arceus hit to KO it, and then do 120 to something on the bench. And to be honest, you don't actually have to boss most of the time. Arceus hits hard enough that 180 plus 120 is enough, or even 180 plus 100 is enough because you can use double turbo energy with Delphox as well. We also played 2 copies of the Bravery Charm to increase the HP of our basic Pokemon. So Delphox will have, I think it's 210, right? So 260 HP. It's better than 210. You won't get one shot by a lot of Pokemon, so that's why we play Bravery Charm as well. We also play 1 copy of Serena. I haven't seen Serena in a while, but I am including it here because of the discard that we can do to our fire energies. Since we are playing only 8 fire energies, we need to be able to discard those relatively quickly. 1 Arvin to help us search out for an item in tool card since we are playing tools. 2 Chorus Experiment, 2 Iono, 2 Judge, and 3 Professor's Research line out the supporters. So yeah, this deck is a really simple Arceus fire deck. The main thing is you want to hit with Arceus first, and then clean up with Delphox, and then finally take that final prize with Radiant Heatran. Radiant Heatran is actually the star of this deck. I wonder if like we can get a Radiant Heatran only deck. I think that'd be really hard though to get damage on it. There might be ways, but anyways, that'd be pretty cool. I do love the Radiant Heatran. It has saved me in so many matches. But anyway, enough about the deck. Let's go watch it in action. I found a way to record over myself, so ignore what I said in the intro. I am able to talk over it, and I just kind of, if you see me in the background, I'm like, there's double me. There I am. I can record over myself so I can actually commentate what's going on, and we are starting off with an Arceus against Frigivax here, and I believe we're going to be attaching the double turbo energy, and I'm positive that that's all we're going to do. So it's going to be a little weird for me to kind of go through this and like reiterate what I was doing, so that'll be fun. Actually, let me move my person a little bit over here. See myself, but it's okay. This is what we have to do since I messed up in a recording. They get a Candace, so it doesn't look like this is the greatest Chien-Pao deck, but it's still there. Their Candace going. See what they get. They get a Palkia and a Water Energy. Not the best Candace, so that's actually good for us. And they can just do a concealed cards here, so we have a pretty good setup going. We have Radiant Heatran, Magma Basin to it. Fortunately, we didn't get a Charcadet last turn, because then we would have been able to attack with the Arceus V-Star using Magma Basin to Radiant Heatran to put that damage on it, but that's okay. Our opponent throws away a Cross Switcher. Good for us to see a Cross Switcher going away. Looks like they're getting some cards. Another Frigivax is good because we would have KO'd the Frigivax in the active. So very smart of our opponent to do something like that. Let's see what else are we going to do here. That's it, and they just pass the turn. Okay. On to us. We top deck another Magma Basin. That's not the best here, but we can Ultra Ball, get rid of probably one of those Magma Basins and the Fire Energy. I hate how Pokemon TCG Live doesn't let you choose which card you want to get rid of. I don't want to get rid of the gold Magma Basin, but we did. We evolved into Arceus V-Star, put the Magma Basin into play, and we can go ahead and use Magma Basin to power up the Radiant Heatran, putting 2 damage counters on it, which is something that's really good. And then we research. Pretty good research here. We got a Charcadet, Bravery Charm as well for the Delphox. Ooh, excuse me there, I had to sneeze. And there's a Bravery Charm going on to the Delphox. We have a Fire Energy for Arceus as well. So we are pretty set up and ready to go. Oh, I had another sneeze. Blurry. Okay. And then we're back. Delphox here. Getting some energies onto the Delphox. Oh, there I go. I'm scratching my head. What am I going to do next? I don't know. I was using this arm. Gotta mirror myself. Double turbo energy off the prizes. There goes myself again, scooting around in my chair. Anyways, they promote the Radiant Greninja, which is good to see. They don't have a Chien-Pao in play yet either. There is a Palkia. Funnily enough, if we have a Fire Energy in the discard, we could KO Palkia with Radiant Heatran as long as we find ourselves a Armarouge. So that's good for us to keep in mind. My hair's going out of whack over there. But they do an energy retrieval to get back a couple of those energies. We also have to be careful Radiant Greninja being able to KO us on the bench as well. Palkia can charge up a Radiant Greninja in 1 turn. There goes energy and Battle VIP Pass. Do they have the Rare Candy Baxcalibur this turn? Let's see what they get. They get a Chien-Pao. Okay, so maybe they don't. I don't believe they do, but I don't quite remember. Energy onto the Radiant Greninja. We're checking there to see how many energies are in the discard, and they just give us a Lumineon. Ooh, we do draw a basic fire energy. This is crazy. We could even Starbirth. We haven't used our Starbirth either to KO a Palkia. And I think that's what we're going to do here. Find a boss's orders to get the Palkia and to switch. We're going to switch into the Delphox and use Delphox instead. Maybe we could have used Heatran to get the KOs here, but Delphox is fine as well. We can also KO the Frigibacks with Delphox, so I think that's where I was going with this maneuver here. We attach the double turbo. We're only doing 100 damage, but that is enough to put on the Palkia and come back up with the Arceus. There goes the Frigibacks. We've KO'd another Frigibacks, and then we have to send the double turbo to the Lost Zone, and we get ourselves another prize, putting us back at even prizing as well. And we get another double turbo off the prizes, so Delphox can once again attack next turn as well. And they put a third Frigibacks. Ooh, they're going to have a hard time getting back Excalibur, and that's good. This is why Delphox kind of does work against Chien-Pao, because you can just KO these Palkias, not the Palkias, these Frigibacks on the bench if they don't put down Manaphy, which doesn't seem like they're doing, but they are going to be able to KO us with Palkia V-Star. I didn't expect them to have that, but that's okay. We can come back and KO with Arceus V-Star. Anyway, since we did hit them for that 100. And then we can also do Magma Basin to our Radiant Heatran. So we'll promote the Arceus here. Ooh, we got an escape rope. And I attached a double turbo to Radiant Heatran. And I believe in hindsight I don't really need to do that, but I did anyways. But it's so that it can attack. But I don't know why I did that. Silly me. Did get a boss's orders off of that research. Super Rod is nice as well. Can get back Armarouge and a couple energies. Don't need that many energy in the discard. And we're going to throw down another Arceus so that we have a fourth attacker for the game. Delphox went down. We have this Arceus. We have Heatran and this Arceus V on the bench that can turn into a V-Star in my hand, which is basically game. I'm basically putting it so that we checkmate our opponent. We have 2 prizes remaining now. Let's see what we get. Delphox and basic fire energy. That's good. The fire energy was at least. But we basically are checkmating our opponent. They promote the Chien-Pao EX. Radiant Heatran can take a KO, and so can the Arceus V on the bench. If they don't Iono us, ooh, they finally put Manaphy into play. They should have put that into play a long time ago. If they don't Iono us, we have a game. They also have yet to put Excalibur into play. So there's a Palkia again. So they're playing a 2-2 line of Palkia maybe. Chien-Pao's doing the Shivery Chills. And do they finally get back Excalibur off of this concealed cards? They get an Irida, okay. So that gives them back Excalibur. And they finally got their back. Oh, Palkia V. They must have back Excalibur in their hand. Okay, makes sense. And they get a Palkia V-Star that'll be available for them next turn. But they're not going to get a next turn. We have Boss in hand. We know that they're not going to Iono us anymore. They need 5 energies to KO the Arceus V-Star. And let's see if they can get there. And they can. They have a superior energy retrieval. Oh my goodness. They must have gotten everything they needed off of this. So that's insane. Okay. Gives them 3 energy though. They did discard 1 for superior. Do they have a 4th? If they don't have a 4th in hand, they're not taking KO on Arceus V-Star. And we know one of the cards in their hand is Palkia V-Star. So literally the rest of those cards have to be energies. And it is. Okay. I guess this is how Chien-Pao operates. Once it gets its back Excalibur, you know it's taking the KOs. Here they are. They're going to be using Hail Blade for 300 damage. But that's okay. Radiant Heatran can come in and just finish the job. Or I can use Arceus V, but I think we're going to use Radiant Heatran because that's one of the stars of the deck. This is what a Radiant Heatran is supposed to do, is to take your last 2 prizes. 260 damage because of the double turbo. It would have been 280 if I had just attached another basic fire energy. But there we go. A dub for Delphox, and we'll take it. Okay, we're going up against the cast form deck. We get to start with Delphox V, which is we do have 2 Arceus V-Stars in hand, but they did play Mesagoza. So if we can flip heads on Mesagoza, that can get us our Arceus V, which is something that we will desperately need with this hand. We don't have any Ultra Balls or Nest Balls or things like that, so that's what we'll be looking for. Let's see what we drop deck. Another basic energy. This all comes down to this coin flip. Do we get a heads? And we do, so we are able to get Arceus V down. We also have a switch, which is nice, so we can power up the Delphox right away. Let's go and throw the Arceus down, attach the double turbo, and switch into Arceus so that we can Trinity charge our Delphox with some energies. So this is an interesting deck. Cast form, they all have the weather reading ability, allowing them to attack for free if there are 8 stadium cards in your discard pile. There are plenty of stadiums to play that are good, like Mesagoza. They could also play Artizone as well to help them set up. And then a research to get all these stadiums in the discard. So there's a 0 energy deck as well. You don't need energy. They all have free retreat, so you can attack whichever ones you want. They play a path down, which is bad for us because we have Arceus V-Star. But with the hand that we have, we are going to be able to attack anyways. And I am currently going through all of these cast forms to see what they do, see what their attacks are, see if I should be concerned about any of them. And really, I just need to be concerned about the water cast form because Delphox is weak to water. So we got to go ahead and hurry up and start getting some KOs here. We're going to throw down the second Delphox, which I don't think we needed to do in this matchup, but we will. And we can Trinity Nova, KOing the active cast form, and we could put some energies into play. And I believe I put them on the second Delphox, and I do. And we got a Nest Ball off the prizes. So we don't really need that Nest Ball, but that's okay. Opponent promotes the fire cast form because they know that those water ones are going to be really important for them to get a third water cast form out. Interesting. And then it just passed. That's not too good for our opponent. Looks like they're struggling a little bit to get some of these stadiums into play, but we can go ahead and Nest Ball for a Charcadet. That'll help us out in the future. We can also bring out Radiant Heatran if we want to, and we are. We don't really need to overbench like this, but we can retreat into the Delphox and attach a basic energy to the Delphox and go ahead and use a magical fire to take out 2 of these cast forms. And we're going to target now one of the water ones, I believe. We are. It took me a while to decide that, but I'm glad I chose the correct one. Water is the most threatening. Ultra Ball is okay. That gets us an Armarouge, which would help us in the future. And number 4, 2 Ultra Balls. Fine. Our opponent promotes the water cast form, which I think they should have not if they can attack with it, but they can retreat back into another different cast form. They do have a Pokestop, so they are getting things in the discard. Another stadium goes in the discard, so I believe that puts them at 3 now. Ultra Ball is good for them as well. 2 more stadiums go into the discard. That's, I believe, 4. 5. So you're just 3 away from being able to attack. They get another cast form down, and they pass the turn. That's a bummer. I don't think they're going to be able to come back from this. We can go ahead and use Starbirth here. I think we're going to be searching for our double turbos so that we don't need to discard so many fire energies. And we get 2 of them. Don't have a supporter in hand, but I felt like I didn't need it. So we can just attach the double turbo energy here and take 2 prizes from the both water cast forms. We can also do 100 damage because they are at 70 HP, so it doesn't matter. We take 2 prizes there, and now we're down to a single prize, and we have the energy in hand to finish off the game as well next turn. Get a boss's orders, which isn't necessary, and we also get another Charcadet. I like the idea of this cast form deck. I just don't think you can get the stadiums into the discard quick enough most of the time, which is really difficult. You have to research away, and Squawkabilly EX would help them too. So, see what they do. They get rid of 2 supporters there with that Pokestop. That's really unfortunate. And then Ultra Ball, they get rid of another stadium, which is good, but I don't think they can really Ultra Ball for anything. Like Crobat's not in the... Oh, they do have Squawkabilly. That's a bummer. They should have gotten Squawkabilly out turn 1, but I guess they couldn't have done that. So they just go into Squawkabilly, and that will be game for us. We just have to go ahead and take the knockout here. Just checking how much longer this is. And we just, boom, take the KO on the cast form and go ahead and get our prize from there. And that's another dub for Delphox at easy. Alright, Illuminion. Looks like we're going up against another Chen PAL deck. We start with the Delphox, but thankfully we top deck an Arceus, though we are missing the energy here. but that's okay. We can get down a Charcadet since we also have to evolve that guy as well. And then we can go ahead and just pass the turn. I believe I don't want to play down another Delphox. We can save capturing Aroma for next turn. And we don't really know what we're up against, so kind of don't want to reveal all of our tricks just yet. They get down their own Arceus. Okay. And what do they do from here? They're thinking about it, not quite sure what they're going to do. They play a Dark Energy, so we're most likely up against Duraludon and Umbreon VMAXs, with Arceus being able to power them up. But thankfully, there's a Lumineon. Okay, so we drew a Fire Energy. Go ahead and capture Aroma. See if we can get our Arceus V-Star. We do. That's really good. We could probably take a KO on this Lumineon then. As long as we can find our Armarouge as well. And a Magma Basin. So Magma Basin, Bravery Charm for the Delphox, and Ultra Ball. Those are all things we need to get ourselves a KO with the Arceus V-Star. But what do we Ultra Ball? We know we can Ultra Ball the basic energy. I think we're going to get rid of the other Delphox. We don't necessarily need two Delphoxes in this matchup, but we definitely need the Armarouge. Let's go ahead and evolve there. We will play down the Magma Basin in a second. Okay, Arceus V-Star, Bravery Charm onto the Delphox, and then let's go ahead and use Starbirth. That'll give us our double turbo energy and something else. Probably, I believe we get our research here because we don't have a supporter in our hand. I was thinking about getting Heatran, but then I was like, supporter's probably better. So we'll grab our research. That way next turn we can just get out of this hand. I didn't realize though that I was going to be taking two prizes. So probably getting the research was not the best choice there, but it's okay. We can switch into the Arceus, use Armarouge's Fire Off ability to attach the Fire Energy onto the V-Star. And boom, we have an Arceus attack right away. As soon as the game lets us. A little bit of a bug here. Had to click out on this, and there we go. And then attach double turbo, and boom, we can take a KO on Lumineon just like that. And that's why Armarouge is in this deck, because we can do things like with that Arceus V-Star like that. And Delphox is ready to go. Bravery Charm is good in this matchup too, since Duraludon cannot one-shot us. And we get two prizes, 3 and 4 it seems. What do we get? Boss's Orders and capturing Aroma. Aroma's good because we can get down a Heatran at some point. And let's see what our opponent is going to do here. They get an Ultra Ball. That's probably going to go for their own Arceus V-Star. Getting rid of a Duraludon and Energy. Okay. They evolve, and they're going to throw off their Starbirth. Seems good. If we can hit this Arceus, Delphox can finish it off and hit into the Duraludon or the Umbreon, whichever they bring out. And Heatran can finish off the last Pokemon. Double turbo onto Arceus. They bring out an Iono. Sucks for us, but should be okay as long as we get a supporter. Cross our fingers. We don't. We do get a Heatran though, with Bravery Charm, and our opponent concedes because they probably didn't get another bench Pokemon, so we'll take the dub. Alright, thank you everybody for sticking around to the end of the video. I'm sorry again for that audio. I guess I'll pay more attention next time to when I'm recording some matches to make sure that my audio is going, but usually I do, and I don't know what happened. I think it was OBS trickery, but anyways, thank you for sticking around to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the Delphox matches that I showcased today. It's a really fun deck to play, and I love just coming in with Heatran and KOing any Pokemon that they have, which is an awesome feeling most of the time. But anyways, we'll see you next time on Crash Blade Gaming.